heard it. At that time, it was okay. It's nothing anymore. None of that does anything for me. Nothing. I've reached the point where nothing moves me at all. An animal, maybe, the dog, caring for an animal. Humans, forget about it. My father taught me. I fought with him day and night. He said to me, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And I was like Mr. Idealist from Queens College. All the teachers were communists from those days. Every one of them was a commie. Every last one of them, a left-wing radical. Came to America, kissed the earth, and then spit on America. Got a job at Queens College and tried to inculcate the very thing they ran from in Europe. So I was like brainwashed as a kid in college. Oh, yeah, the poor are oppressed. People kept them down. Right, sure. Yeah, everyone keeps them down. How could some poor rise up if all the poor are kept down? How do you explain that? So, whatever. He said, oh, dog-eat-dog world. You'll find out. No, it won't. People are nice. Yeah, right, sure, people are nice. Cynic is cynic, what can I tell you? It is a dog-eat-dog world, like I didn't know it. It's not that I've done so badly. I mean, I'm pretty aggressive, and I'm very ambitious, and I have been all my life, and I'm proud of it. That makes it sound like it's like a crime. Being ambitious is a crime to the loser. Do you know that? I knew him when he was young. He was always trying to get ahead. Duh? What were you trying to do, smoke dope? Idiot? That's some guy I knew. He writes obituaries for a religious newspaper. Never amounted to jack you-know-what. Thought he'd be Hemingway. He wound up Hemingway's shoeshine boy. So someone wrote an article on me 2 years ago. He went and stabbed me in the back. He said, oh, yeah, he was always ambitious. Like that's a curse. Mr. Fair-minded. Oh, my God, what people. They really resent people who get anything, and they don't. It's the truth. People are jealous. The 7 cardinal sins. I'm guilty of them, some of them. You didn't hear me. I figured I'd get hit with the religious fanatics when I said I'm through with fanaticism. I wish I could tell you why and explain the whole story, what happened, but I can't. It's too personal for me to get into it. And I think the names have to be protected to protect the guilty here. And I don't think there's any way I can tell you what happened without giving away who I am speaking about. So I think I'll leave that one go because I don't actually dislike the individuals that I'm now completely through with forever in the religious world, but they're never going to see a red cent from me, I can tell you that. It's unbelievable to me. Let me put it to you, how can I do it in a way? I was donating small amounts of money to certain groups, okay? The elephants, to this. I'm reaching that point where they're 501c3s. They have to be a nonprofit group. Don't write me any letters from a prison that you need money because you were a misunderstood genius. Please, you're not. It has to be a 501c3. Some basically animal groups and environmental groups. The pelicans, the manatees, the elephants, the leatherback turtles, the bears that are being tortured by the wonderful kind Chinese that they torture in cages over there in the wonderful sensitive land. We're the bad ones. They're the good ones. It's Obama, the same thing. They torture people every day of the week in the Muslim countries, but we're the torturers and they're the good guys. Everything upside down, Obama. The whole world is upside down to him. What'd you expect? You asked for change and you got it. Now we're bad and they're all good. The Muslim world is suddenly good. The women can't drive. They perform clitorectomies in 80% of the Muslim world, but it's a wonderful place to live. Not one peep out of the women's movement. Revisionist history. So one of the groups, let us say, that I was going to donate a small amount of money to was a religious group. And as part of my charter as a man giving money, I have to find out how the money is going to be spent. You have to ask. You can't just give money to a group without getting an answer from them in advance. Otherwise, you could be violating the tax code, and also their 501c3 status could be challenged, incidentally. And many charities are rackets. You know that. And if the government really wants to make money, they really ought to go with a fine-tooth comb through the 501c3s in this country. I can guarantee you. They pull in about $200 billion the first year. Okay? Put me in charge of that one, Mr. Obama. I've gladly worked for the government for $1 a year. I can bring in probably $100 billion for the dollar. I know just where to start. You're starting with these. So I start inquiring, blah, 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 what are you going to do with the money? And comes back to me that one of the religious individuals who was going to receive the money tells me that he's going to take some of the donation I'm giving, the whole thing, to take a year off and to be with his wife worry-free for a year, because that's what he was taught. And I couldn't believe what I was reading. So I say, you have some nerve asking me to subsidize a year without working. I kill myself each day trying to do right in the world, and nobody subsidizes me. Moreover, nonprofit tax laws prohibit us from donating to the upkeep of an individual. All funds must be limited to the meaning of the tax code, only for organizations, not individuals. And then I go on and I say, religion is about service and about work. Religious people are supposed to have a profession or a trade. And I say, I have some advice for you. Learn a trade or you'll be running after people for money the rest of your life. You are a good person, but you need someone to tell you this. The old days are over. Money is tight. People don't have as much as they did 10 to 20 years ago. As the years go by, it will get harder, not easier. You still have time to learn a trade. Use it wisely. So, I mean, it's a hard thing to send somebody, but I think I did this young man a favor. To spend the rest of your life as a mendicant and asking people to subsidize your lifestyle and using God as a weapon, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, I'm not into it. I work too hard for every dime, and I know everyone else who works for a living in my family. Everybody works all day long, every day of the week. So just because you hold God up as a over your head, like you know God and I don't, you know what? I know God as well as you do, and I can find God by going out into the bay and looking at a bird laying an egg. If I see a baby seal swimming toward the boat, I see God. If I see a group of pelicans flying in a V formation and they're shifting point as they're flying, I see God going back millions of years. I see the wisdom of God in how the animals have the brains to shift point so that there's always a leader in the pack. Okay? So I don't necessarily need the mumbo jumbo to get there. Thank you. I'll be right back.
These guys are so hilarious. I almost drive off the road every morning.
Armstrong and Getty. Weekday morning 6 to 10. Talk 910 KNEW.
During World War II, Hitler used the Blitzkrieg or lightning war technique to conquer all of Europe. With swift and overwhelming force, the German Blitzkrieg combined the coordinated air and armor attack to destroy enemy resistance before it had a chance to respond. Today, the Blitzkrieg is no longer a military tactic. It is a political one, and it's been used most effectively by Obama within the media. Chairman Obama's Blitzkrieg works like this. There is always a story they're pushing through the media. There is always an event at which he or Michelle are speaking. There is always a show which has one of his advisors as a guest. Obama presents a united media front. He just gave one of his fake town hall meetings about health care, in which pre-selected voters are called upon to ask fake questions which forward his agenda. This is a follow-up to his ABC special on health care, and it occurs in the context of dozens of guests on dozens of cable news shows. Obama's flunkies and San Francisco Mayor Gavin Newsom were on MSNBC this morning as a part of the media blitzkrieg. Listen to Mr. Newsom.
The public option draws costs down. We're providing comprehensive health care regardless of your pre-existing conditions for about $280. We're proving the paradigm. You can provide something at a less cost without rationing and without denying people treatment.
Gavin Newsom, part of Obama's health care blitzkrieg. You can almost hear the tank treads in the background. That's how it works. A media devoted to Obama's agenda takes every spare minute it hasn't already devoted to coverage of Michael Jackson and Billy Mays and Ed McMahon and Farrah Fawcett, and gives it straight to Chairman Obama so he can shove socialized medicine down the throats of America. And then as often as not, they'll cut to a drug commercial. That's right, Obama's health care plan, brought to you by some drug peddler who will make billions off of it. And now that Obama's got 60 votes in the Senate, the Republicans aren't likely to do much more than haggle over how much money they can get for their districts. The blitzkrieg has succeeded, and the dark days are coming.